Hello everybody, Silas back again today. I got something a little bit different this time. There was an online auction with a company. It was actually the company I was going to list some stuff with. If you remember back, I don't even remember now, it's been several months ago. I mentioned I was going to get ready for an auction and I started the process, but just things happened. You know how it goes. I never was able to actually get my stuff ready for that auction. But there was a guy right across the street had a bunch of stuff that he did get put into that auction. He had a bunch of car parts, he had several cars, and just odds and ends stuff. There was a bunch of car parts. I'm not into really selling parts anymore. I don't do that as much as I used to, so I didn't buy hardly any parts. But he had a bunch of really cool stuff that I thought would make great wall art and decor and that type of stuff. And that's kind of what I'm into more than anything. You guys know I chop up a lot of trucks and cars, and it's just something I enjoy. So I thought, it's right across the street. If I can make a few bucks and have fun doing it, why not? So I bid on a bunch of stuff. I bought 11 lots of stuff, and then when I went over there, I actually bought a few more things that weren't in the auction. I already loaded all the stuff up and brought it out here to my place. I didn't actually record loading it up because I didn't know how comfortable the guy would be on camera. I didn't know if he'd want his property on camera because he has other stuff in there that is actually his, so I didn't think he would really want that, so I didn't even bother recording anything there. But I'll record the process of unloading it, and I'll kind of go through and show you what I got. Altogether, I spent around $1,330, give or take, counting taxes and everything included. So I don't know if I'll make any money or not, but let's go through and I'll kind of estimate what I can get out of the stuff, and we'll see if I made any money. Now, one thing before I get started, you may hear kind of a dull roar sound in the background. That is because the people that rent some of these buildings out here from me are sandblasting today. So they've got their sandblaster running full bore. They're quite a ways away, so it shouldn't be too obnoxious, but if you hear that noise, that way you know what it is, and it's not just your hearing. Here's what I got. It doesn't look like much. Got a little bit here on the trailer. And then I got a little bit here in the back of my truck. These converters were not there. I just bought those this morning. Bought quite a few of them, really. But I got these tanks, this old Volkswagen hood with the Rolls Royce grill, a bunch of heater cores, just odds and ends stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start unloading this off the trailer, and I'm going to take it back here and start lining it up. As I unload it all, I'll kind of talk about what it is and what I think I can get out of it. There we go. First up, we have a 1939 Mercury hood. It's got some really good chrome down both sides. It's got a hood ornament on it. It's got the nose piece on it up here with a little bit of corrosion on this part. But really, it's not a bad hood. Even the hood itself is pretty good. It's not crunched anywhere, it's not damaged anywhere, so I think this is a fairly valuable piece. I think I paid around $195 for it just because I kind of liked it. I don't know if I can make anything at that or not. I'm hoping I can just make my money back when I'm ready to sell it. But until I'm ready to sell it, it's a really cool conversation piece. There we go. Next up, we have a 1951, give or take, Ford truck hood. I don't know if it's a big truck, I don't know if it's a small truck. That wasn't too important to me. I have a 1951 or 52 Ford front clip that has the bullets in the front of it, whatever you want to call them, but I don't have a hood for it. And if I sell that nose without a hood, it's maybe a $300 nose. Whereas if I put a hood on it, which this one doesn't match exact, but it matches pretty close, I can probably get $500 or $600 out of that. So I gave, I think, $55 for this hood. The hood itself is no good. It's got rust in it. It's got some decent chrome if I wanted to mess with that, but I may pull the spears off the side. But we're putting this on there, spending $55, add it to that, I can add $200 to $300 worth of value to that nose. Next up, we have a 1947.5 to 1953 Chevy truck hood. Once again, I have a truck that's almost this exact color, and right now I have a blue nose, or a blue hood, I'm sorry, on that truck, and I need a hood this color. So now I can take that blue hood off, put this on there, and once again I'll add about $200 worth of value to that. I think I paid 40 bucks for this hood, if I remember right. I don't know, something like that. Now this is a half-ton hood. It won't line up exactly right with that nose that I have because my nose is a big truck, but it'll line up good enough to where I can make it work. Next up on the list, I got a whole bunch of these. I'm sure you can see it there. I think I bought, I want to say 18 of these Volkswagen bug doors. This one here is, yeah, one of the red ones. I got a pair of these. I got a bunch of different colors of them. I'll just kind of go through and unload them all, probably speed the footage up a little bit. I'm not going to talk about each one of them, but I bought quite a few of these, and then when I get through them, there's a couple of them I'll show you, and then I'll talk about them all at the end. There we go, got them all unloaded. I wish there was a pair of those yellow ones. That's probably my favorite one, is those. I'm not sure what year these are. Doesn't really matter for what I'm going to do with them. They're just going to become wall art. I've sold Volkswagen bug doors in the past, and they bring okay money, but I thought having this many of them, maybe I could talk one of my bulk buyers into them. And because a lot of times when they see one of an item, they're not too interested, but when they see 10 of an item or more, then they get really interested. But there's 14 of them here total. There's 2 of them have a pretty cool piece on them. See this right here? This chrome backing plate? There's this one here, and I believe the mate to it is this white one right here. Yeah, right there. I have a guy I know wanting those, so I'll probably sell those to him. But then the rest of these will just become wall art. People will take these and they might paint something on the doors. They might just have them just like this. They might butt them up back to back. I don't really know what they're going to do with them. That's not my prerogative. But I'm definitely sure somebody's going to jump on these just because there's so many of them. I've got more stuff on the truck and trailer, so I'm going to keep on loading. This is, I believe, a 1950s, early 50s Henry J front clip. Don't know the exact year. It's pretty rough, got a lot of rust in it. But I thought, you know, for a wall hanger or something like that, that's really cool. If I could find a hood for it, it'd be a lot neater, but even like this, I think it's pretty neat. I'm not entirely sure what'll happen to this one yet. I think I gave $100 for it, give or take a few dollars. So I don't have a whole lot invested in it. So whatever I decide to do later will be all right. I did forget to mention what I paid for these. I think I gave, I want to say $500 for all the doors. They were in 2 different lots. I think I got one lot for $300 and one lot for $200. It might have been a little bit less than that. I can't remember for sure now. I'd have to go back and check. Worst case scenario, I'll probably get about 50 bucks a piece for these. So that's $700. So I'll only make about 200, but I think I'm going to try to push it. At least on some of these ones, like these red doors and these really good looking blue doors and the yellow door. The white doors are the ones that are kind of iffy, especially the 2 really rusty ones. Those are kind of towards the bottom end of the scale. But the rest of these I should be able to get, you know, 75 bucks a piece or so out of. So I might be able to make $1,000 double my money or so. This here I'm probably going to get somewhere around 200 bucks for it, whatever I do with it, give or take. I got my trailer unloaded. Now I got to get all the small stuff out of my truck. And this is probably one of the coolest pieces that I got out of the wholesale. It's an old VW hood, but it's got an imitation Rolls-Royce grill in it. I thought that was pretty neat. I gave $55 for it. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'm sure I can make a little bit of money on it at least. Now I've got just a whole bunch of small stuff here in the back of my truck. I've got, I believe, 6 of these tanks here. I've got these 5, and then I've got the one on my trailer there. That one's actually full of something. I don't know what, fuel of some sort. So I'm going to have to empty that out. But these here are all empty. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to cut my jack-o'-lantern faces in them. And those always sell really good. So those are probably 15 to 20 bucks a piece. I think I gave 40 bucks for all of them. So there's 6 of them there. So if I sell them for 20 bucks a piece, that's 120. That's $80 profit. And on that same pallet was all of these old heater cores. All these old heaters out of old cars and trucks. And these here are basically just scrap. There's nothing really, anything good on them. That one down there kind of has some cool pieces on it. It's kind of an Art Deco look, but I don't know, it's pretty rough. If it's too far gone, I'll have to go ahead and scrap it too. But regardless, you know, these are about 6 pounds a piece, I believe, for these copper heater cores. So if I can get, you know, I don't know what that would come out to. I think these are $1.50 a pound right now. So what is that, $9 a piece? Say $10 a piece for easy numbers. And I think there's 7 of them, so that's another 70 bucks. So I'm going to get all those out of here, and then I've got these old tanks here. I'll grab those out and show them to you once they're out. And then I've got a few more Studebaker parts in here yet as well. So I'll just set everything out, and then I'll go through and show it all to you. There we go. I pretty well got everything out of my truck. All these, since I'm not going to be saving those, I'm going to take those over around the corner and throw those in my scrap pile so I can clean them later. I don't want to bother unloading those in this area. Like I said, I'm probably going to hang on to that one. I don't know. It's kind of broken down there on the one side, so I don't know. We'll decide on it later. I'll set it off to the side. And also, there's an old Studebaker right here. You can see there it's got the S on it for Studebaker. I may save that one for that S. I don't know. We'll decide on that later. And then also, there's this pile of carburetors. Those weren't in the auction, but he had those laying there. So I gave 25 bucks for all the carburetors. And then I've got this bucket here. There's a pair of old taillights off of a Studebaker, old glove box lid, and I believe, yeah, there's an old side draft carburetor down there. And I think I gave 40 bucks for the whole bucket. I can get 15 out of the bucket when I cut a face in it. And then I'm hoping I can get, you know, 50, 60 bucks out of that carburetor. That's a pretty rare carburetor. And then these taillights, I don't know if they're worth anything or not. But I thought, you know, if I'm making something that's missing taillights, like a trunk or a couch or something like that, and I need taillights, I can use these. And they're flat mount for the plastic lens. So I can just take any old red plastic and put in there and make a taillight lens. So I thought those would be handy to have just in case. I've got this old Studebaker Commander grill piece here. It's pretty rough. I mean, it is really corroded. Been laying outside in the dirt for a long time. In good condition, these bring around 300 bucks per side. So that'd be like $600. But like I said, these are really rough. I don't know if they would bring anything, but I think a guy, if he wanted to sell them, he could probably still get about 150 for the pair of them. But I'm going to try to sell it for wall art and just as is. That way I don't have to clean it up or anything like that. I gave 40 bucks for it, so there's lots of money to be made there no matter what I do with it. And then last but not least, I've got these tanks right here. The little one is probably just going to wind up being scrap iron. I don't think I'll do anything with it. This one here, as you can see, has all these rivets in it. And I believe, yeah, this side here has all the rivets down it. I have a guy that buys all of my old riveted galvanized tanks. So I think I can talk him into this one. I think I gave, man, I can't remember what I gave for this pile. I want to say I gave 25 bucks for the whole pile. And I'll probably get at least that back out of this one. This old gas tank here, it's got the old spigot on the bottom. But I'll probably just cut that into a junk lantern. And that there is going to be one of my deluxe junk lanterns. I'll probably get about 40 bucks out of it. So I'll go ahead and probably cut a face in that one over there and try to sell it for 15 bucks or something cheap like that. And just see if it moves. If not, then I'll throw it in the junk later. So there it is. There's everything I bought except for those few parts that are still in my truck. Like I said, altogether I spent around $1,330. counting taxes and everything else I had to pay. So not too bad. That's more than I wanted to spend, and I had the stuff bought a lot cheaper, but at the last minute somebody started bidding me up on those Volkswagen doors, and that was probably my biggest expense. I spent $500 on just those alone. I had them bought for about $300 for all of them, and then someone bid me up on them at the very last second. I almost let those go, but I thought, that's probably the coolest part of this entire auction is all those doors, so I've got to have them. So I bid him up until he quit bidding. So I just did some quick figuring, and obviously I'm estimating I haven't sold anything yet, but assuming I can get between bottom dollar and what I consider full retail for the stuff, I just kind of figured in between those two numbers a little bit. I figure there's a minimum of about $2,000 worth of stuff here, and maybe I can push it up to about $2,500 or so. I don't know. I got to see what I'm going to get out of those doors. I'm going to push for 75 bucks a piece, but if I have to take 50, I guess I will. I'm not in a hurry to sell the stuff. I've got plenty of space out here to put them. I used to have that great big bus sitting right here, but that bus went away. It went to the shredder, so now I've got lots of room in this area to put stuff again. So realistically, I'm looking at making about $1,000 profit for my time. I've got about an hour invested in loading the stuff up and unloading it here, and I don't know how much more time I'm going to have to put into it. Obviously, I got to cut all those cans, so I'm going to have probably looking at maybe an hour, hour and a half in that, probably hour and a half, so I'll have 2.5 hours total. And then I've got to get those hoods on those noses. That's going to take a little bit more time. So when it's all said and done, I'm probably going to have about 5, maybe 6 or 7 hours, probably 7 hours at the absolute most in making that money. So 7 hours for $1,000. You do the math. That's not too bad. Now I know what you're thinking, Silas, you're so busy, you don't have time to do nothing. Why in the world are you adding to your plate? And the answer to that is, I don't have a clue. When you figure me out, let me know, because I haven't figured myself out yet either. I'm always adding to my plate. I don't know why. I know better than to do this, but when I saw those Volkswagen doors, that's what sold me. I knew I had to buy the 2 truck hoods, and I should have just bought those and went on with life. But when I saw those Volkswagen doors, I thought, I've got to buy those. And then like those tanks and those other cans over there went cheap. The only thing that I bought that I kind of regret buying is probably the old Mercury hood back there. I don't know why I bought that. I spent $200 on it, and the hood ornament on it is broken, so I may wind up struggling to get my money back on that one. If I can't get my money back though, I'm thinking I'm gonna make that an awning on my junkyard cabin out back. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know what else to do with it. But you tell me in the comments, which of these is your favorite item? As you guys know, I've mentioned it several times, my favorite item has to be all the doors combined. But if I had to pick one item that is my absolute favorite, I would have to say probably the yellow door. That one there is probably my favorite. It's not in the greatest condition, but just the fact that it's just bright yellow, and that just screams love bug out of the 70s. That's what that says to me. I think if a person painted a great big flower on that door, multicolored flower or something like that, hippie style out of the 70s, that would just make that door absolutely awesome. And so I may actually hang on to that door and have somebody do exactly that. But you tell me, which of these is your favorite? And one more thing before I go, I have some exciting news. I finally got a UPS box. I know I've had a ton of people asking if they could send me things, send me mail, that sort of stuff, and I just haven't been able to up to this point because I don't want to have people sending stuff to my home address. I looked at getting a post office box, but the problem with those is that you can only send stuff through the post office to send it there. And a lot of times I order big things, and the post office is very expensive to send big things, so I wanted a place where I could have stuff sent to a little bit cheaper. So that's why I went with a UPS box. So the address for that will be in the description. If you have something that you've just been dying to send me, whether it be mail or whatever it is, just fan mail, that's perfectly fine. You can send it to that address. As I accumulate a few items, I'll open it up at the end of my videos. Why did I buy this stuff? I can't figure it out. Now I just gotta go pick it all up and move it again. That's okay. I absolutely love doing this type of stuff. There's some days I don't necessarily enjoy crushing cars. I've done that my entire life, and there's some days it's a job, and I got to deal with all sorts of drama. But when I'm doing this type of stuff, very rarely is there any drama. It's always enjoyable. So this is the sort of stuff that keeps me going. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I've got lots more content coming up. Please keep checking back. Thank you guys for all your support. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.